Hello, everybody. I am Marlecia, also known as Marlecia Muses. Welcome to my BookTube channel, Marlecia's Meanderings. And I am here to introduce what I think is an original book tag, but I'm not positive, with an extra little twist at the end. So without any further ado, I'm going to get started, okay? This is called the Readers Who Secretly Want to Write tag. Okay, and there are 10 questions, including, or 10 prompts, including the tag others. The first prompt is, are you a reader who secretly or not so secretly wants to write? Yes, I am a writer who really not so secretly wants to write. I have written a lot in the past. I have a few things published online, very small things, and I had a story picked up, contract and everything, to be made into a little cartoon, which fell through for lack of funds. And then I had a novel picked up, and and the company went belly up. So, or the particular publishing house went belly up. So, and I haven't brought myself. I can't bring myself to go back and look at that because it's like 150,000 words. So I want to do some cutting and stuff like that, but I can't quite bring myself to do that right now. I put about 10 years of my life into that. So I have to kind of psych myself up for that. Number 2, if you are a reader who secretly wants to read, or not so secretly, or you're just imagining that you are one, would you prefer to write fiction or nonfiction or both? Fiction, definitely fiction. I think that writing nonfiction for me would be like writing a term paper or a research paper, and I think I would be incredibly boring writing that kind of a genre. I haven't really mastered the art of making nonfiction interesting. Let me just adjust that a little bit. I'm sorry, my printer's randomly going off. So yeah, I think fiction is where I would start, and it's where I have written. Poetry is actually where I started, and then I moved on to fiction, specifically fantasy, although I did do some, I guess you would call it spy type stuff, but it was very rough and not very good. So I'm not sure I would go back there unless I could find out a way to keep it clean. So yeah, I'm a fiction writer and a poetry writer. Do you think reading helps or hinders your writing? Why or why not? I think that question requires more thought than it might appear on first glance. I mean, the first thing is, yeah, it would help because you get ideas about style, and you get ideas about content, and you get ideas about worlds. And the same thing can be a detriment. You don't want it to be so influential that people reading your stuff can see your influence. I'm sorry, I'm trying to fix my camera. There we go. If people can see your influence, it takes away from your writing. And that was something I found when I first started writing years ago, and I was at Writers Village University. And they say, oh, you write like XYZ. And oh yeah, I was reading XYZ. So I don't want another author's writings to be so much in the forefront of my mind that it influence overtly my work. And I mean, having said that, obviously what you read is going to affect your writing, sometimes from all kinds of different areas. It can be something you saw on TV, it can be something nonfiction that you read, or faith, or whatever, and it all kind of gels into whatever you're writing. What genres of nonfiction would you choose to write, and why would you choose that genre? Okay, like I said, I wouldn't choose to write nonfiction, but if I had to choose nonfiction, I think I would do histories. I don't like memoirs. I don't like biographies. Like I said, I don't like gossip, so those tend to smack of gossip, but I think history would be fun. If I had any kind of acumen in sciences, I would like to write something with the sciences. Travelogues would be fun, things like that, but I'm not really interested in writing nonfiction. What fiction genre would you choose to write? Fantasy, which I have done. Fantasy, science fiction fantasy, soft magic, mystery. if I could get the clues straight and keep everything so, people would be interested in reading it. I really haven't tried my hand at that in a long time. Spy, espionage kind of things. That was always fascinated me. But again, that requires some research, and I'd have to look into certain things. But that would be fun, the research. So those are the genres I think I'd be most likely to take my, turn my hand to, if you will. Okay. Who would you name as your influence in writing? This is number 6. Tolkien, Lewis, J.R.R. Tolkien, C.S. Lewis, G.K. Chesterton, Agatha Christie, Timothy Zahn, Terry Brooks. I could go on and on, but those are the top ones probably. I'm sure I've forgotten someone who is, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, okay? But I'm sure there are others that I missed, but those are probably the big ones. All right. I think it's number 8. I've got my numbering system messed up because I have 2 number 3s. I think this is number 8. Do you think a person should stick to writing what one knows, or especially in the case of speculative fiction, do you think a person can just make it all up as long as it stays consistent? Okay, obviously in fiction or nonfiction, you have to be, true to the facts. You probably should know what you're talking about if you're writing nonfiction, okay? Fiction, I think you have a little more leeway, especially if you're doing speculative fiction, horror, science fiction, fantasy, especially fantasy, in that you can create your own worlds like Tolkien, okay, or Lewis. You just, out of wholesale cloth, you can make all these dramatic, vibrant worlds, and it's all from your head. And as long as you stay consistent in that world, then you're okay. If I want to say, water boils at 3 below 0, as long as I'm consistent, that's okay. Do you feel that profanity, graphic violence, and adult situations are overused in writing? Okay, I might be a odd man out here, but I do. I think that profanity and graphic violence and adult situations are much overused in writing. I think a lot of times it's a lazy person's way out, that you don't have to titillate. You can show with good writing. You can have a good story or good character development, and then whatever little bit of language or little bit of situations tastefully done will have more impact. I think that it really lessens the impact to use it so, what's the word I'm looking for? So excessively, so consistently. If every other word is a swear word, it loses its punch, okay? And I just think that it's not very creative. And I may be in the minority here, but that's how I feel about that. Okay, and I'm, believe it or not, my heart is racing because I was nervous about saying that. But you guys are usually pretty open-minded, and I don't think you're going to slam me too much for that. My next prompt is, do you feel that books should have warnings a la movies so that readers would know what to expect? Why or why not? Yeah, I think that having a warning would be a good thing, because then someone like me who likes certain genres can look at the back of the book or the front of the book or wherever they put the warning and say, oh, this isn't for me. And then you would escape the censorship. It's not hurting anybody. They can write what they want. But a person like me or a child wouldn't have to buy it and then toss it when they find out that it's got content that is offensive or unacceptable to them. I don't think content warnings would be a bad thing. It would preserve the freedom of the writer, and it would protect the freedom of the reader. So yes, I feel that having a rating would be a good thing. Now, who would determine what would be in said ratings? I don't know. That's another question. Okay, so that was my last question. I will tag others in the description below the video. And if you're not tagged and you'd like to do this, I'd love to hear what you have to say. But now this is the twist part, okay? First, I want to thank you for watching, okay? And the challenge, the further challenge, the twist is this. And I'm not sure if I can do this on the posts or not. And if I can't do it the way I want to, then I'll have to brainstorm a way to do it at another location. But this is what I'm considering. I'm considering posting maybe once a week, maybe on a Wednesday, since I know people do writing Wednesdays, some sort of writing prompt for the week, a picture, a few words, a phrase, or whatever, along with my response, okay? So I can hear back from what you know, whether you like it or don't like it or whatever. This would be open for anyone. If you'd like to take part in this, you just take a look at the prompt, and you people who just want to play around, you readers who want to play around with writing, either you want to try it out, or maybe you've hit a writer's block, or maybe you are an established writer and you just want to use this kind of as a morning pages kind of thing. This would be for you, you know, just to write something maybe from 200 words to 1,500 words, whatever the limit is on that posting section. And then people can tell you how they like it, kindly, with tact and with, you know, compassion, good, bad, or otherwise. And I think that it would be a lot of fun. We could maybe discover new authors or budding authors, or maybe authors that are new to us, and get some encouragement. I myself will be probably posting old stuff for a while because I haven't written consistently in years. So what I'd like to do is post some of my older material and lead up to newer material. But I think it'll be fun. All I ask is that participants post their own work. And since I am a PG-13 reader-writer, that content warnings be posted if necessary, so that I know what to expect and other people know what to expect. Because I want this to be a place where anyone can read and not be offended. So, you know, I don't think that's too much to ask to have a content warning if you think it's necessary, okay? So I hope some of you will take up this challenge with me. And in the meantime, I thank you for watching me as I meander. I hope you have a wonderful, blessed day, and I will see you next time I record. God bless, and have a nice evening.